What's up, everyone? It's me, Adam Prime, and we are back with a very timely episode of the TokuBrew podcast, This Week in Toku. With me, as always, is our already self-proclaimed not self-proclaimed, but proclaimed spook master, which I'm realizing I probably should have said spook master in the episode, but I didn't realize until you commented it on the video itself.
I'm also his fiance. Hi, I'm Stormy.
Yes.
You seem to be forgetting that part a lot recently. Are you dropping that from the intro? Or from my introduction, I guess?
I'm about to say, it's gonna have to get dropped at some point.
Well, yeah, but I figured that would have been after we were married.
That is fair, but you also don't let me finish. I had to take a breath.
I'm sorry, like, the pauses. I thought that was my cue.
I'm thirsty.
But oh my god, we have
This is
all three, guys. All three. So much to talk
This is the
about.
first time in this podcast's history where both of us rewatched both episodes twice. Siri, what the fuck? My phone is reacting and I don't know what it's doing. Oh, it's done.
I thought we were talking to Siri.
But yeah, no, all of these episodes we watched twice.
Yeah, there was just so much to digest in all of them.
Yeah.
We had to watch all of them twice.
Because it's just like, I think it really benefited that we watched them twice. Real quick, we do have very little news. Any stuff that, like, just got covered in Television magazine, I think I imagine you just want to wait until it's all debuted, because you don't want to see Nyago's new form.
He keeps trying to spoil me.
Well,
He's spoiling
the beat Buckles weapon is amazing. I can't wait for you to find out what it is.
I almost said that to a beat.
I'll still never forget your reaction to what we got, because I didn't tell you what Love Cove was, because I was just like, you
didn't finish your sentence.
Yeah, your reaction to Love Cove for the first time, because you didn't know, and I was just like, I gotta keep it that way.
Didn't you accidentally almost spoil it for me, but, like, for whatever reason I didn't absorb Love Cove in the picture? You're like, the demon was in that picture, did you see it? And I was like, oh no. And I just, I didn't pick up on the fact that was her demon or something.
I think it was because it was really tiny.
Yeah, I didn't see it for whatever reason.
But, yeah, no. It's definitely a weird week, but then, like, we also saw more writers, but, you know, again, we'll get to those when they come in the show. But overall, we have a lot of stuff for Black Sun, because I guess Black Sun's coming out soon, and that's going to be apparently
it's going to put Amazons to shame.
From what
it comes to
like, I don't know if that was a joke or not from what I saw, so maybe, I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
So yeah, I guess let's get right into the very thick of it, honestly. It's very thick this week.
Guys,
it's dense
soup. I
soup.
hope you have a snack, because this is going to be a long one.
That's why I'm so thirsty.
Or was it because our last episode was strangely horny? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
So yeah, Decker picks right where it left off after Jin and Agmes.
Well, to be fair, his name actually isn't Jin. We've just been calling him that.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Do we care about the order we're going through this episode in?
I guess like we'll just have to say, like, guys, a lot of really dense, thick plot happens in all three of these shows. So if you haven't watched anything, or if you don't want anything spoiled, turn back now, because there a lot of stuff happens in all three of these. Like,
yeah,
spoilers for
it's
all
like
three.
We often don't say that every week. But like, if you're watching this before you watch the episode, go watch the episode. If you don't know what's going on, it's very interesting, because it makes you, again, it allows you to question what you want to do. You know, it allows it's a very interesting, it's like, it's not like, oh my god, you'll never believe it, kind of like a twist or a spoiler where it's like,
I can't tell like which show you're talking about right
all
now.
of them, because they all have like moments where I'm just like, oh my god, they actually did it. All of these episodes had balls.
Damn.
But
yeah, turn back now. I guess I'll give them a
or
little
watch it.
I'll give them a little bit of a buffer by saying the small discovery that I made about the show.
About Decker?
No, it's just about our show.
Oh, what about our show?
Do you not know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you're right.
So
our anagram?
Yeah, I unintentionally realized because I was making a planner for my week and I was, record this week in Toku, but I was like, I'll just use, the anagram for it, and I realized we accidentally made it say twit, so...
Not
it's pretty fitting if you ask me.
Not intentional. That was not.
You know what?
I did not hit her.
I did not.
Hi,
Mark.
But yeah.
Alright, let's get into the thick of it when it comes to Decker.
So we were right last week. That is Decker.
Yep.
I guess he's not exactly an ultra. Again, okay, wait. Here's the weird... Let's just get into this.
Let's just get into it.
Okay.
We're gonna
this show.
Scenic.
Yes, exactly.
Crazy shit, right, guys?
They did time travel weirdly clean.
Yeah, like they got scot freaking free, man.
Well, they explained it without having to look at the camera and be like, well, this is how our time travel works, and this. They just stated it in what they were saying, and like you don't question it. It's not like
conversation.
Yeah, it's nothing like a lot of other time travel things.
It got away.
I don't want
to,
and I don't.
Deno got away pretty clean.
And I'm not going to mention any famous franchises that have really muddy time travel. Oh, I'm sorry, I had a cough.
Dude, even I didn't understand what you were trying to cover.
Well, I about to say I didn't mention anything. What are you talking about? It was a cough. I didn't cough Terminator. Stop accusing me.
Oh my gosh.
And Geo, but you know.
Poor Geo. But here's the thing. One thing that we definitely noticed was between Decker and what was it? Aragrams? What was his name?
Agamus? Agamus?
Agamus. I'm gonna say Agamus.
So Agus?
Agamus?
Yeah, there you go with that. Agamus.
Anyway, so we can tell between but even though we know that that's not the character's name, we're gonna call him Jin just because we don't want to.
We already said who he was.
Well, I don't want to confuse people.
Well, Decker's Decker, Kanata's Kanata.
I guess. Whatever. Anyway, I guess one thing that we mentioned like while watching it was it really feels like we just kind of like got dropped in the middle of their movie.
Yeah,
I felt like there was so much history and so much story and so much going on between those two, and we're just like, hi, we're new. Would you like to explain what you're talking about?
Yeah, like we feel like there was like a rise and a fall of their friendship, and we don't know where exactly or what happened.
Like they're in the middle of their series, and this is just a crossover episode for them.
And or like their series is already done.
Yeah. This is their after movie.
Yeah, like we're not quite sure, but they never fully explain what it is outside of like, oh, the sphere attacks something else. But like, it's just like holy shit.
So we didn't really state exactly what was going on. I'm realizing.
Well, it's pretty much after their beam struggle, they explode, and Kanata's like, "Hey, I gotta help you," and fucking Decker's like, he's like, "Shut up, child. I don't need your help," and then he starts phasing out of existence.
Okay, yeah, but that's not what I was talking about. Okay. You want me to just say what I was talking about?
Just say what you're
trying to say it for me!
I'm not trying to. Just say it then.
So, alright, again, spoilers out the window. So,
we already...
This guy... So, basically what they did was, he's not only from the future... But he's also, like, from... and this has always been a thing in Ultraman of, like, multi...
Yeah, they immediately...
The multiverse, like, a multi-dimension...
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of the word right now. Is it...
Dimension, yeah.
Is it that?
Multiverse.
Parallel
worlds, parallel universe, whatever you want to call it.
Like, he's from the future, but also from a parallel world. And the other guy is coming, like, bad guy, Anagram. He's coming from... that future parallel world to this one because apparently this is as far back as they could really go.
Yeah, that's as far as he could go.
And he brought the spheres with him, and
And or called them? Like, I'm
Or
not
called
quite
them.
sure. He just, like, Jin says he
But,
brought the spheres with
They
him.
even mentioned this isn't going to change our future. But
Yeah,
he's
they immediately
like,
say.
I don't care. I am doing this for revenge.
At least he's straight and to the point.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, but this is just because fuck you.
Because apparently once humans hit
Yeah.
space travel...
In a few centuries.
And essentially they blew up his planet, right?
Well, no, they didn't. The spheres are getting it. They're fighting for it right now. It's not over yet. Remember? Because that's what he keeps yelling at him. He's like, it's not over yet. We can still win the planet back.
This is why we watched it twice, because I apparently still didn't absorb certain things. My God, your chair has not shut the fuck up this whole time.
It's its character. It's like the Pee-wee's Playhouse chair, but instead of having like a voice to tell you words of the day, it's just...
It's just like, hello, tinnitus. How are you doing today? That's what I thought.
But
that's what I'm gonna name your chair now.
Tinnitus.
Tinnitus. It just goes
classic.
Constantly.
Classic tinnitus.
Yeah.
You can obviously see, like we said, it's like we got dropped in the middle of it, and like again, he blames Earth for expanding. Where it's like, but
none of this would have happened without you guys. So
yeah, because like they form, and this is the interesting part. They state in a few years we're gonna try to expand, and we're gonna have the alien forces, but then we'll also get the assistance of Yuzure, and it shows the one that we saw. So I guess we were right. That is a future Yuzure.
Yeah, like all the aliens from other worlds that are also on the planet.
Well, yeah, but also they mention another Ultraman, and they just straight up show Dinah.
Yeah.
So I hope that confirms he's gonna show up, but this is something I was wondering. Does that mean these are the same spheres that Dinah has been fighting for almost 25 years? Has he been fighting these fuckers for 25 years?
Possibly.
Like because like they weren't like, it's weird to call them the main antagonists of Dinah, where it's like they were frequent.
Well, an antagonist can be a thing. Just like an opposing force. It doesn't have to necessarily be a person. Well,
no, I was more saying because there's not that many episodes on the Sphere, where it's like the Sphere are constant in this show. There were long swaths of episodes where you forget the Sphere are there. Like, they didn't absorb the Earth or do any of that shit. They were just kind of like, pew, pew, pew.
Also, they basically pulled a reverse Dinah, speaking of. Like, you had mentioned.
Well, yeah. Well, this is why I'm asking this question. Where it's like, so we know Dinah's gonna come into the picture, or whatever. So it's like, and again, it explores that like multiverse that Ultra always states is there, which is kind of cool. I always do love that, because it kind of shows you like, it still allows you to enjoy the show in itself, but it also, you never have to question, be like, well, wouldn't this planet be used to it? It's like, no, it's a different world. But yeah, like you said, it could be a reverse Dinah, because we're also...
You're the one that said it.
Well, here's the thing. We don't exactly know for Decker how the light happened. Because in Dinah, we know how his dad turned into an Ultra. He went into this light tube, and the light irradiated him, which I'm imagining it's very similar to the radiation that all the Ultras on M78 got it through, like, a plasma spark energy radiation radiated them into Ultras. So I'm thinking that's what happened to him when he entered that light tube. And then obviously when his son is getting ready to die, he gives him his power. But in this instance, it was more of Decker couldn't go back himself, but he could send the D-Flasher. But he didn't know Kanata was his ancestor.
By the way, yeah, Kanata's his ancestor.
Yeah, he's Decker Asami.
That's literally his name, Decker Asami.
Doesn't that sound weird? Oh, jeez.
I mean, to be fair, it sounds a little better, like, in the way that they present it, which is technically backwards for us, of Asami Decker.
Yeah. But, like, he gives, like, him his, the D-Flasher, even though he didn't know.
He even says, like, he was the one that was sending him his powers. Like,
yeah,
he's like, somehow knew.
Well, yeah, and that's always, because you remember he always said he heard the voice every once in a while. Mm-hmm. And they even do go back to the clips where you see Decker is, like, when he was in the space, he was just like, hey, My name's Decker. Use this. See you later.
Oh, also, before we get too far away from what we were talking about, there is a certain thing in here that I'm going to use as an example that we're probably going to bring up that we're going to be bringing up later for, like, the other episodes, which is, like, the concept of, like, okay, whether it's, like, you know, I know that there's a big argument about this in, like, the Toku community, but bottom line, like, these shows are written and made for kids. Anyone can enjoy them, obviously, but they are written for kids. And and I feel like, you know, sometimes a show, like, when things start to get complicated or a lot of things are going on, it's not like they're turning to the camera and explaining everything, obviously. All the shows did this really, really well. Funny enough, again, it happened in a lot of these episodes all at once. But they kind of have a moment where they just sit down and they tell you, "Hey, this is what is going on," so that to help.
But
they
find a way narratively to have it happen.
Yeah, and it also isn't just like, "Oh, here's the plot," or "Here's exactly what's going on." It's more just like, "Hey, here's a guideline so you can keep following, so you're not confused."
Well, yeah, it's
like for instance, like when Decker and Kanata were talking. He basically, like, for instance, when they said, like, and another Ultra will show up, and then he goes, another, and we see Dinah, it's like, yeah, like, I feel like that's just kind of them, like, laying the foundation of, like, here's what is going on, here's what you can expect, so that you're not confused. It's a little bit more straightforward. Like, not necessarily turn to the camera, hey, kids, are you following? But, you know... It's just a way to help keep you, like, on pace.
Yeah, and it's like,
you're not confused.
Again...
And again, like, this happens, and I don't know about if it happens necessarily in Geats, but it does also happen in Dawn Brothers, and we'll talk about that later when it comes up.
We will get there.
Oh my god. Guys, Dawn Brothers this week was fucking nuts, but, first let's finish Decker.
But yeah, no, and it's like, again, I like how cleanly, and I like that Kanata throughout this whole episode just does not understand... why it's more of like, why are you guys doing this? Why are you guys this way?
Why are you so dumb?
And like, by the way, can we talk real quick aside before we get back to it? I love that he brings up the rice crackers, because he brings up the saying, and that gets Decker, because obviously he doesn't find out he's his ancestor until the end of the episode. So it's just like
Decker figures it out, but it just doesn't tell him.
Well, yeah, Decker already puts it together because he has the knowledge. And he's just like he's like, oh yeah, he's like, oh, I used to eat those on Mars when I was a kid, and he's just like,
we only sell them on Earth.
He's just like, oh, don't worry, one day you're gonna sell them all, and sell them all over.
He goes to Mars, huh?
Or at least some of his family does. It's several centuries into the future, he says.
That's fair.
So, like, I can't say how many greats of grandfather he probably is. Exactly. So. We have that, and I just thought that was kind of cute moment. And obviously they come back to the saying of, like, stop focusing on what you lose and do something.
Yeah, and it's revealed in a way of like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you who I was.
No, yeah. Well, yeah, oh my. This actor.
I love him so much.
This actor, I love, like, I don't even care. Somebody would probably be like, he's just playing the same character everywhere, and I'm like, I don't even care. I just love the charisma and the charismaticness of this man.
So, like charming, like asshole, but in a charming way. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Also,
Jin, top 5 writers. Don't at me.
Good. But and funny enough, like, how do I say this? I don't know if it's this actor or something, but he's very, like, not in a weird way, but, like, very touchy. Like, he is not afraid to, like, wrap his arms around you, like... Hey,
yeah, and or just, like, start weirdly touching you.
Yeah, like, and like, I kind of noticed, like...
Cut to my favorite scene from Amazon's here.
What is your favorite scene from Amazon's?
The one where he was saying it sucks.
Oh, yeah, and then stabs him and threatens him. Just
stabs the knife. We need to. Okay, we're gonna have to sit. We're gonna have to talk about that on the regular TokuBrew.
Sometime.
At some point.
But so you were talking like, oh, like you were like, why? Kanata's kind of like, why are you guys fighting?
Well, yeah, it's like he's like, well, he also says, remember, like right when he, like the big climactic moment where like Decker's like he's like, hey, you can't transform, and you're.
Did you say climax dick moment?
No, it's like the climactic moment. What? You saw I said the climactic dick moment?
Maybe you'll notice in editing.
Maybe I will. But I guess to clarify, climactic moment for everyone out there. Where, because, like, Decker's just like, oh, it is what it is to be. He was kind of an asshole about it. Mm-hmm. But, like, it's just like, he's like, hey, this is what it means to be an adult. And it's like him sacrificing himself and everything. Even though he might die if he transforms. And Kanata was just like, fuck that. He says, your friends are fighting. Go back to them. They need you back there. Survive.
And why are you fighting? I will say, I was really almost kind of, like, proud of him for, like, standing up for himself.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like he found the reason to fight, which you were disappointed with.
Yes. A little bit of a hot take. Again, I like Decker. I like the show. I like the characters. I dig everything that's going on right now, but...
I think it works with how he said it, how it was in the moment.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like, if this were my first Ultra show, I would be into it. But here's the thing. Like, now that I've watched a couple, that kind of feels like all of their reasons. Like, that doesn't feel like a very unique thing for him to say. And, like, the way that they built this up of, like, hey, what's your reason for fighting? I don't know what my reason for fighting is. Like, they built it up like it was going to be a brand new, significant idea, basically. And the fact that it was just like, I want to fight to protect this planet and the people that I love. Well, yes, that's noble. That's wonderful. That's a perfectly good reason. I just feel like that's just been done a lot. That's
most Ultramen.
I know. It's just like I felt like they were building it up, like because it was going to be something different, and it wasn't. So I was just kind of like, oh, okay, I guess. Like,
I guess it's like I don't mind it. I think it honestly.
Again, it's not bad. It's just I thought they were building it up.
You wanted something more spectacular.
I thought it was gonna be something different.
You wanted him to say, I'm doing it for the rice crackers, damn it!
That would have been pretty funny.
And I honestly think it was really nice. And it's like, you can still see that Kanata is not as good as Decker.
Yeah, you really feel like when Kanata is fighting, it's very, like, big, lumbery, like, you
kind of slow.
Like, you can tell that he's just, like, a giant moving, and that's as fast as he can move.
Or at least how he feels he can move.
And then, of course, there's Jin, where...
he's just so used to...
Of course, there's Decker, where, you know, he's, like, super experienced, he's fast, he's quick changing, you know, through the forms,
He was kicking Terra Phaser's ass.
Yeah, and, like, you know, he's cocky, and...
Yeah.
But I do think he took a couple of notes because he did, like, form change
He did form change a lot.
Like, oh, that was a good idea.
And a lot more frequently.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh shit, this isn't working. But,
he still was, like, a lot slower, though. Like,
yeah.
It was such a crazy, like, difference.
Until Terra Phaser then immediately tries to vaporize his face. Mm-hmm. And Kanata's just like, oh shit, I'm not dying here. And Jin's just like, fucking bro, you talk big and now you're about to get vaporized. And then like, he's just like, oh, and this is what my grandfather says. And it was pretty much just like adding to his grandfather's phrase. He's like,
I feel like they were
never stand.
That we've heard.
Yeah, it's like, never stand down and you never lose.
And Kanata
gets his own
form.
And like Jin acknowledges it. He's like, "Oh, is this the Ultraman form?"
And it's bitchin'.
for to save this era. And
yeah, he even says like, "Go back to your own era and protect your own era."
Yeah, exactly. Decker, dynamic type, fun pun. Mm-hmm. Well, not pun, but like fun little reference because like obviously Dinah. Well, yeah, they even like in the show Dinah they mention where they're like, oh, why are you gonna call him Dinah? It's short for dynamic, and like that's the whole thing in Dinah. And Dinah didn't have a fourth form like Tiga, because Tiga got Tiga in reality has like I think 9 or 10 forms.
Damn.
Because you have his 3 main ones, which are multi-type in all of them. You have his dark form. You have when he gets his red part back. When he gets his blue part back. And then you have to have the final part
Dude, is this necessary?
So yeah,
it's sorry,
like I don't know why I went on that rant, but I just did, and it happened.
But
yeah, Decker didn't have it.
Out the fact that this one was symmetrical, and it looks like he has little like cougar horns.
Oh yeah, I love the horns.
This is really good. It looked really nice, and
also,
you could tell he was so much more fluid.
And he gets the coolest weapon.
Dude, it's so cool.
It's like a shield sword thing.
Yeah, it has like a shield mode and caliber mode. And I kind of made the connection of like, oh, that's kind of interesting to see, because the one thing that was kind of unique to Katana while he was using Decker's forms was the fact that Trigger gave him a sword. Like, that was something purely for him and not for Decker.
Yeah, we never saw Decker use it.
So it was kind of cool that they implemented the fact that, like, he uses weapons more than Decker did. So that was something that his form naturally came with. And he fucking Captain America did at one point.
Yeah, he just threw... It's like, it was more of like one of those energy rings you often see Ultras throw.
Well, it is a shield, and he threw it.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, it's almost like the energy play. Yeah, I guess. It was just really cool.
Yeah, I had like editing around it and stuff.
And he destroyed Terraphaser.
Oh yeah.
It's gone. And I'm wondering, is Terraphaser gonna come back?
Well, we see that. Well, we do see that he is still alive.
We know he's still alive, and
we have a weird moment with him, like the mantra that he was repeating.
Oh yeah, by the way, we found out what his home world is, because you remember how he said he was doing it all for his home. We were all right. It is not Earth. Mm-hmm. It is Bazord.
But because they had mentioned like some girl's name.
Yeah, Lila.
That wasn't... Yeah, Lila, which sounds...
Or Layla, or something like that.
Which sounds really close to
Rayla, yeah.
Rayla. But, we see, like, he has, like, this vision of, like, this girl that's,
listing off the things
that he was listing off, and then he screams. So it's like, I imagine that's probably her.
I bet you she's dead.
The whole thing with when they mentioned it was like, oh, would she have really wanted this?
Don't say her name. Mm-hmm. Put that screenshot here.
Keep my wife's name out your goddamn mouth.
Oh my god.
And you go over and smack.
But yeah, no. That was... Like, is there anything really left? It's like, yeah, then you have Dinah. You have Decker telling Asumi at the end, and like, Asumi.
Well, here's the thing about literally all three of these episodes. It's like, I feel like we got so much fucking information, and yet it's like, I need more. I need another episode at the very least to be able to come to a lot of conclusions. Because I feel like we got the build up. This was like a lot of the like really heavy plot shit is happening going on. And then hopefully in like the downtime that's probably going to be coming in like the next like couple episodes, I hope. Like,
oh shit, we're getting a break, I think, at some point in November, I think.
Oh yeah, don't they take time off for like a sports thing or something?
At least Geets and Don Brothers is sometimes.
It's like tennis.
I don't know if Ultraman's gonna have that week off, but if it's a recap episode, whenever that is, we're gonna wait until the recap episode until we get until Don Brothers and Geets are back. Because what's the point of being like, hey guys, it's a clip show episode?
Maybe you could talk about it or announce that in your new community tab that you got enabled.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I definitely will mention that.
Good for you, buddy.
Not I'm about to say. Yeah.
I'm really happy for you.
Oh yeah, go check out the stuff I might be doing reviews for. It's on the community tab.
Also thank you for watching. I don't know why specifically it's the podcast that has like a lot of people watching, but hello.
Hello podcast audience.
I'm speaking.
I know the visuals aren't that exciting. I hope you guys get a chuckle and at least maybe steal a couple, but credit me, even though a lot of people can take screenshots on a show I don't own, but credit me. Because I need to sign them checks. By that I mean I am in debt. Not really.
I was about to be like, excuse me, I did not hear about this. But anyway, yeah, just thank you for listening, I guess.
And it makes it feel like this is the end, and we're only just getting started.
Yeah, we're like, 30 minutes in, and we're only at...
Oh, maybe a little mess.
We told you we were in for the long one, guys.
Well, there was just so much to talk about in Decker, and now we have Don Brothers to talk about.
And that's probably, like, the densest one. My
Okay,
God, there's so
we already
much
warned
shit
you
to
about
talk
spoilers,
about.
so I'm just gonna say it right
Holy
now. I'm
fucking
saying
shit.
this right now. The Kaji brother is over party.
Hashtag cancel Kaji brother.
He should no longer be allowed on Twitter.
Dude, I feel like I could watch this episode over and over and over again and only get more questions as to what the fuck is going on.
It's
So
holy
much.
shit.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. Where do we start? Where do we legitimately start?
I guess let's
we do the
let's
Sonoy
talk
stuff?
about Sonoy and Taro. Let's get that out of the way.
Okay. First things first, it obviously opens up with them and Kaji brother and all of them are just being like, oh man, why is Sonoy acting so weird? They're acting like Taro. Taro denies it, which when we first watched this, I was wondering if he was lying. Because they were like, oh, he's like, hypothetically, if there was a resemblance, would you have any way to know how he came back to life?
And he has like an idea of like, oh, I wonder if like when they took my energy, that could have been the thing that
revived him.
But and he kind of answers in a way of like
he's
not
like, no,
saying what he was
no
thinking,
resemblance,
but like kind of answering with a different thing so that
he ignores
he's not lying. He's just kind of ignoring the point of the question, which is, I guess a way around it.
Yeah, and pretty
and
much.
Obviously, this is only drilled in throughout the episode of them basically like talking in sync for most of it.
Oh yeah, but he says he's one of a kind, and then we cut to Sonoy, and then we get to Sonoy. He does the same thing, no resemblance, and then we get to the
bashes him into some columns.
Maybe one of the best parts of the show. When they go to the Odin shop.
Yeah, like he gets them all dressed up in fancy wear. He gets a fucking limo. And he's just like,
and I want you to remember, red tie and red little handkerchief. Or whatever.
Yeah, and also the fact that he has red eyes and red highlights.
We will get to that in a second.
Well, then get to it.
So yeah, but Taro and all of them are already there.
Yeah, they were like having lunch, probably.
Yeah, which, by the way, we find out later that the monster is running the shop.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, what did you say it was?
It was the Deca Ranger monster. That's why it was a dog with two tongues.
It looked grossly shiny and I didn't like it. Also, like the fur around the chest was like matted.
Yeah.
And it's just gross. Yeah, it's the shop owner, but like we don't really fucking care about that.
Whatever. The monster's not important.
I want better customers.
But yeah, well, until later when they make it a contest to beat him, but that was cool.
So,
but
yeah, they basically,
they are like just talking and
they get to try it, and we realize.
Sonoy was giving facts about Odin, and just like, and I like how Taro's just like, shut up,
and they're like,
enjoy it.
Like, this fucking nerd researched it. Also, one thing that like I realized. With your help, obviously, because like their food was like cotton candy, and when Taro was eating it, he's just like, "This has no flavor, but I'll eat it out of like the courtesy that you gave to me." Like, does that mean that like their food has no flavor? So this is the first time they're eating something with flavor.
Some of them, we saw that whatever the white one's name is, it's so close to Sonoy. I think it's Sononi or something like that. I can't pronounce
white
it.
Lady.
Yeah, white one.
The lady in white, but whatever.
Why do we have to put her gender?
What did she? Did she like?
Well, remember we saw that she was going to restaurants and like seducing men, and she was asking for like iced tea and all of that last time.
That's fair. Oh yeah, and there was also the eating contest.
Yeah, see.
I didn't even think about that.
I'm about to say.
Either way, they really enjoyed it.
But yeah, and then, you know how we were wondering, we're like, oh, is Sonoy just like Taro like this forever? Well, first they start eating Odin, and they just label it by shapes. Which was funny.
They didn't know what it was.
And then Taro was just like, hey, Sonoy, have this mustard. And he's just like, fucking alright, I'm not a bitch.
And it's like super fucking spicy. And he like cries, and it has like the red sparkle of the taro juice.
He cries the highlights out of his hair.
He's back to fucking normal. Like, the red highlights are gone, the blue eyes are back.
The Taro mannerisms are gone.
He changed his fucking clothes.
Like, the Taro mannerisms are gone. I'm wondering if this is...
They're so freaking stoked. They're like, oh my god, he's back to normal. Like, they literally hug.
Yeah, and it's like... Because you wonder if that was a permanent character change. And it makes me wonder if it's like... Was that just his body readjusting? Where it's like...
I don't know. Like,
where
was
it's
it,
like circulating the Taro blood, and then it just was like, okay, circling back to Sonoy's stuff? Or was it just...
Like, was it a
the pure perfection that it was, and him crying, because he was saying like how divine it was and how it reminded him of his home.
Again, like I feel like I don't know if they will explain it. I kind of hope they do, like exactly.
If Taro got him back.
Honestly, we don't know exactly what happened. Maybe Taro did something to it.
Either way,
maybe like he just had to cry one out.
I don't know. Long story short, all we know is Sonoe is back to normal, but he keeps his upgrade jewel power.
Mm-hmm. Also, by the way, earlier in the episode, they have band-aids on their heads to cover the word.
The fucking...
The Naoto thing.
Yeah, the Naoto that they wrote on him. But except for Kaji Brother, he got his off.
Yeah, they had a little fly fart sound, so...
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Speaking of...
Okay, should we just get into it? Obviously, we get the contest, whatever. We beat the monster, That's all the stuff with Sonoe.
Now, we finally got the fucking shoe finally dropped when it comes to these 3 fucking characters of Inoue Brother, Kaji
And
Brother,
yes, we said 3 characters. There is not 4.
Natsumi and Miho. Again, we talked about spoilers, so I'm just gonna come out and fucking
pissed.
say it. There was never a Miho.
Like...
It is... Again, like...
At least from what we are knowing right now, she is not real.
Because what happens is... Inoue Brother basically...
is doing the right thing.
Yeah. By the way, we just have to say, he handles this the best that he could have.
Well, yeah, it's like he starts examining what she is doing and everything. So what's he do first? What she used to do? Haircuts. So gets his haircut exactly the same. He knows how she would do it. Then he's just like, he goes to fucking Kajino, and he's just like, hey, you mentioned a home cooked meal. Do you think your wife could cook me a meal? And he's just like, I don't know. And then there was this scene, which after knowing, we will get back to put a pin in this conversation. We just want to say it's gross after knowing.
It seems normal when you're first watching it, but like upon the second rewatch, it's just like it has such a different context. And I feel like it also kind of is like a springboard into like their relationship and post context, I guess. So again, take that, put a pin in it. We'll get to it in a second.
We'll get back to that. But
and then he does end up going there, and again, I keep forgetting that he's a chef.
Well, I don't know if he's a chef. He's just a good cook.
Well, no, I think he was a chef.
Oh, he was an actor.
He was for a little bit for money, remember?
That is fair. I wonder if he still works there.
I don't fucking know. That's not important right now. Anyway,
well, yeah, I guess
like,
not.
Oh, this is her specialty, and it's the thing that he taught her how to cook. He's like, this was her specialty, and then he's like, and then they give him their wedding album.
It's creepily just them.
And we realize so many little things about it. I don't know how many of them are actually like relevant. Like it is just the 2 of them. And first of all, Kaji Brother, like we've seen him in nice wear. He's literally wearing a suit for most of this episode.
Episodes.
And yet in the picture, like he's in like this silver suit. Not even like his signature color is even in the picture, which you would think they would do because, you know, he's the Pink Ranger. Have him in pink, you know.
By the way,
it's like oversized and it doesn't fit him. Like it just everything about it looks wrong. The lighting is wrong. She's not smiling in a lot of them.
By the way, I'm realizing earlier on we were comparing and being like, "Oh man, Sentai's finally has a Laito." That besmirched his good name. Mm-hmm. I will fucking find you. I'm so upset. I'm so upset about this. So angry.
I'm sorry, I can't think of who Laito is at the moment. Can you remind me?
Ultraman Zero. Geed.
Thank you. Wait, what does that have to do with this? Because
you remember how he was a salaryman who's trying to do the best for his wife and daughter?
Yes, yeah.
Fuck.
I'm sorry, Laito.
He is back. I'm about to say, I'm like, you are no longer on the same shelf. You are now in the trash bin, while Laito stays on the top shelf where he belongs.
Just like fucking have fun counting banana peels in the trash with Michi, asshole.
Like, oh my god. Like, and you're probably saying, man, you're beating around the bush. I'm sorry, I'm just upset about this because it's just like you see him creepy. Right? Well, it's like, and you just see him almost like be like, yeah, my wife's so good. And then at dinner, they start saying things, and like I forget how exactly.
Basically, like we see parts of like the conversations that we've seen like beforehand with him
With
and
Natsumi.
I was just like, oh, I bet you tell all the girls that.
I bet you tell the
all
boys that.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So it's something they used to say each other to back and forth. And right before Miho is about to say it, he says it, and she immediately goes like...
She, like, snaps, like, for a second, and, like her,
like hinges up.
Yeah, and, like, her, like, cup, like, chinks on
But, like, and then we just get cut to him leaving.
And, like, her, like, cup, like, clinks on the table.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, like, something happened.
And then we cut to him leaving.
Yeah, and, like, he, like, looks at her, but he leaves. Like, he's just like, I don't know if I did anything, so I'm gonna go. Again, like, this guy, like, handles this so good. Like, he was very respectful.
Well, yeah, it's like he just wanted to make sure.
Like, he's like, I need to make sure.
I
tested the water. I don't know how she feels. I'm gonna go.
Well, you can also feel how bad it hurt him going through the wedding book. He was just like, he's like, this should have been me.
Yeah, it even has a quick thing where it, like, photoshops his head on there. Was it his mugshot? Now that I think.
No, it was just him.
Okay, how funny was that?
Because it moved weird.
Okay.
And
then she chases after him.
And Kaji Brother's like, oh shit.
And she even
Kaji,
like calls out his name, and then he's like, not to me. Like
and they embrace the embrace. And it was
so heartfelt.
Now Tsubasa. Now he's on that S tier.
Now he's up there with Laito. Kick Kaji Brother out of that.
Kick him out of there.
But can I also mention the fact that, like, we mentioned in the episode, you know, like, where we got a lot of bestial, like, lore and stuff, and he had the crazy fucking hair, where, like, you know, when he was, like, holding her, and she, like, went blank when he wasn't looking, basically. Mm-hmm. She wasn't smiling or anything.
Yeah.
But with this, like, even though, like, he's not looking, she's still smiling. Like, she
exactly.
still has, like, emotion on
it
her.
Almost seems like she's back, but, by the way, put a pin in this.
Again, like...
A little bit, because there's a little bit of stuff we're going to have to talk about later, because it's stuff about in the preview, but I'm just saying, put a pin.
Yeah.
In that.
Pin.
But yeah, no, and you pretty much, it's just like, it's such a, like, it's so nice to see that happen. But then you see Kaji Brother, which again, when you first watch this episode, not knowing anything, you almost feel like, oh, poor guy.
And then, like, and here's the thing, like, again, like, we talk about how well Tsubasa does this, and talking a little bit later into the episode, like, because he does meet up with Kaji Brother again later to talk about this.
Wait, do we want to talk about the apartment real quick?
Yeah, I'm just saying for later. Like, we do see that happen later, so, like, and he does, like, talk about a lot of things that we will mention. But, like, obviously, like, he's doing the right thing in a lot of these, but he does, like, once he
almost
sees
selfishly.
Kaji Brother, he does kind of selfishly, like, grab her and take her, and he
just
brings her back to his apartment, like...
Not his apartment.
Quote-unquote his apartment.
It's Roso's apartment.
Yeah, the guy that, like, was like, oh, I'm gonna travel the world
his
with
shirt.
my girlfriend.
Yeah, with the shirts.
Yeah. Well,
I do have a screenshot still saved of him. I'll put it here.
Yeah, if you're confused what we're talking about, this is the guy we're talking about. And...
He's probably not going to be there for long. He's probably gone.
As much as I call it selfish, like, I feel like it's actually a good thing that was there, because that makes it feel much more human.
Well, yeah, it's like this is what he's been waiting for.
Yeah, he finally has Natsumi back, and again, they have a second embrace.
And they're talking, and when they get back to his apartment, and he's just being like, "What happened? Where were you? What's going on?"
It even, like, shows, like the thing where she got sucked away.
Well, yeah, and all of a sudden, like, and Natsumi's just like, "Oh, are you practicing for another play? Oh, you said you were gonna write. What?
Are you writing another story?
Are you writing a play? Like, and everything, like, she doesn't understand, and she's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's almost just like when the switch happened, which confused us a little bit, where it's like, you run out of somebody else's house, and you're not questioning how you got there?
You're not questioning where you are right now and why? Like,
I guess it was all instinct at that moment.
I think we'll understand more once we get another episode.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I also have some other suspicions. Mm-hmm. So, okay, now we're getting to the final part where...
Alright, let's get to Kaji Brother.
This is literally the ending of the episode.
So...
Because, like, this is where the monster stuff would have gone. But whatever. So, they're talking.
No, hold on. Before that. We get a really fucking weird scene with him. Where he's like... It's like the
We thought American Psycho before.
It's like the next morning, and you see him... And she hasn't come back, by the way. She's still with Tsubasa.
Yeah, with Tsubasa.
And he, like, opens up the window. He's like, what a beautiful day. Like, he's just, like, weirdly, like...
Can we get Christian Bale for American Dawn Brothers?
Oh my gosh. But, like, it's just, like, it's unsettling and creepy. And then they meet up again. And he's like, hey, we need to talk about what happened. Like, I'm sorry. I know, like, I feel bad about all of this.
Yeah, he admits that he feels bad. But he's like, I know what I have to do, though.
Also, I know how, because he knows how he feels. Again, this is exactly what he went through seeing him with quote-unquote, Miho.
He was human, and he still reacted and was still trying to respect him.
And the actor... great job, because like you can see that he legitimately is like he like holds back tears at one point. You can see his eyes get like really watery.
And Kaji brother is fucking a selfish
absolute psycho. Fucking psycho.
He's just like it again. This is exactly what he said. He was just like, so can I have Miho back now? My Miho.
It's the time my Miho came home. By the way, something like I kind of realized and point out, and now we can't.
The second part, yeah.
Now we can't unsee it. Is the fact that he has been so possessive of her, like, in treating her like an item. Like, yeah, there's been, like, a lot of codependent things, but it's like, if think about it, like...
He's also, like, that's the main reason he becomes a monster.
Yeah, he calls her... Yeah, like, he's so obsessive over, like, his relationship
which, last episode we thought...
He's so obsessive over his relationship with her that, like, that's what makes him become a monster twice. By the way... we forgot to mention that Saru brother did actually mention the fact that it's like if it happens twice, it's bound to happen thrice. So it's like I want
put that thing here.
I wonder if that's a hint. And then it's like he always calls her my Miho, or like, and a lot of the things that he compliments her on or that he like embraces about her are things that she does for him. Like
a lot of ways.
She gives me haircuts. She's so good at haircuts.
On cooking and all that.
She's so good at cooking. I love how her food is. Oh, look at how pretty she is. Like she's that pretty nice woman. She's mine.
It's almost weird to have a ranger who's a fucking villain.
I almost don't want to say, like, we don't know he's a villain at this point. I don't care. He's a villain.
He's a villain in my heart.
Gross. But, like, I don't know how to...
I'm sorry if there's still any Kaji Brothers stands. Who are you out there?
For whatever reason, the scene that pops into my head, like, when it comes to this whole possessive thing, do you remember the thing where, like, someone else thought Miho was somebody else? And she, like, cleaned his ear for him?
Uh-huh.
I don't know why, but that keeps popping up into my head of, she's so sweet. Look at what she does for me.
Yeah.
Like, he keeps, like, talking about the things that she does for him in regards to, like...
But what does he do for her?
Yeah, like, he never compliments things that she does purely for herself.
Which, like, maybe we're also wrong, but who knows?
Maybe I could be reading a little bit too much
or it's like we're not remembering.
That doesn't take away the fact that he always calls her my Miho, which is enough for me.
So. Well, yeah, it's like, it's the whole thing we were talking about last episode when he became a monster again, where it's like, dude, you're a little bit, like, over-obsessive with your wife.
It's just like, dude, that's a little much.
Like, dude...
It's like, I almost feel bad because it's like, I thought it was cute at first. I'm just like, it's so nice to see someone.
Well, we thought it was cute for 33 episodes.
Yeah, and then it's just like, wait, this is getting weird. And it's like, it's worse.
Well, okay, wait, 32, because we were suspicious and kind of fed up with it by last episode.
And like, because here's the thing, like, do you remember, like, when I was just like, oh my god, that fucking smile that he did? And I was just like, that immediately, I was just like, look, I think he might be a villain, and you didn't believe me.
Well... You got sank back in, too!
I know, but...
Well, like, we called it American Psycho then, but we also thought it was because he was becoming a monster.
Not just he is a monster.
Yeah, not that he just in reality is a monster.
Also, like, in retrospect, like, we thought it was just cute because, like, it's like their anniversary's coming up and whatever. Why is there a shrine to their wedding in their apartment?
Yeah.
A literal shrine.
But yeah, no, and...
Also, I noticed, I don't remember what it was, but, like, there was a point where it's like, these are her favorite flowers. And then in the picture, she's holding white roses, like, the pictures of their wedding, which aren't her favorite flower. He didn't know her when they got married. He didn't know what her favorite flowers were when they got married.
Well, maybe Miho's different. I can't quite say for sure, but you're probably right in some way.
I'm sorry. Now that it's like I've seen all these things, I'm just like, I'm noticing things everywhere.
But, like...
But, yeah, like, okay, back to the conversation that he's having with Tsubasa.
Well, yeah.
He loses his fucking shit.
He's like, don't change the subject after he's trying to tell him.
What did you do to my Miho? Like,
he just starts fucking going ballistic.
He even, like, grabs him and, like, screaming at him.
We have several screenshots of this.
Yeah, we're going to be showing a lot of screenshots on here if you want to be, like, following
It is intense.
Yeah, and even Tsubasa's just, like, this is when he's just like,
he looks like he's crying.
Miho. There never was a Miho.
She doesn't exist.
She does not exist.
And he's like, don't be stupid.
Yeah. And he called the fucking cops on him.
He duped him. Which, by the way...
And we see the creepy smile again.
Yeah, and he's like, oh no, you're guilty. Fuck him.
Fucker.
But, like, by the way, this is something I'm realizing, and this is something we were talking about earlier, after the episode was done. So the cops are taking him in for a murder, because they think he murdered Natsumi. Mm-hmm. So doesn't that mean now that Natsumi is at least back and present into her body, or whatever the bestial is doing with her? Because I don't think the bestial was exorcised from her body. Couldn't she go into the police station and be like, I'm alive, I'm over here. Yeah, exactly.
And he did not murder me. Also, I wonder if, like, I don't remember, sadly, because it's just been a while. Do you think it's also because of, like, the other people that had, like, the origami go into their mouths? Like, oh, he also got, like, convicted for those people as well because they kind of went missing? Or
no, I think they fell into comas.
Oh, I couldn't quite remember.
Because they were incompatible, if I remember correctly. Mm. So maybe they actually also just, like, left. The origami just eventually was like, I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. But,
I mean, I think the episode kind of ends there, but we have a lot more conversation when it comes to the preview.
But yeah, no. And we are not sure. Yeah, exactly. I have nothing else to really say about the episode itself, but I am not sure exactly, because we even have so many different theories of what's going to be going on. Mm-hmm. And, like, you have one of, like, what if Kaji brother is a bestial himself? Whether he be another crane, or if he's a penguin.
I also wonder, like, even though, like, because here's the thing. Like, do you want to talk about the preview before we get into theories?
Okay, yeah. In the preview, we also see...
I worry for her.
Yeah, we, pray for Natsumi. Because we see in the preview, and we don't see anything else, because it's a preview, of, like, Kajino going to Natsumi, and she's just like, I don't know you.
Yeah, and she's like freaking out, and he's like all shocked.
Yeah, and he's trying, like, grabbing her, and I'm like, stranger danger.
Stranger danger.
And then all of a sudden, we also see him trying to fist fight Tsubasa, but fuck him,
and
so.
And Tsubasa, I imagine he probably gets out either A, because Natsumi's like, hey, I'm alive and right fucking here, or if because, like, the Dawn Blaster comes and gets him out of jail. But, like,
it could be anything.
We see him in, like, this fucking creepy origami forest.
The bestial forest.
Shoving a fucking origami into his mouth.
Like a bestial is. You can tell it's a suit hand.
Yeah, and like you can kind of see the head a little bit.
And this is, here's now one of my questions. Where it's like, now did the bestial turn back into Natsumi? Because as we've been noticing throughout the whole series, what has constantly been chasing specifically Tsubasa? The cat bestials. Mm-hmm. All of them. And it makes me wonder, is he a compatible host like Natsumi? But instead of for the crane, but for the
cat.
For the cat. And so she turned back into Natsumi, so he could now trick just to help the cats out and give them the perfect body or whatever the fuck they are, for the cat bestial. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I don't know if I can find a good picture of it, but we have seen the suit for the crane bestial. It looks like a cone head.
Did you say it looks like a lump of wet paper towel?
It does look like a cone head of wet paper towels.
Yeah, wasn't that a thing said in one episode that there are, like, some people that have perfect compatibility with certain bestials or something?
Well, like, that's the whole thing when we found out when Natsumi got sucked in and he was like, hey, a year.
Mm-hmm. But, so, yeah, that's the kind of things that we're seeing in there. So we know that, like, the plot is only going to fucking thicken from there.
And if anything happens to Tsubasa,
I'm so pissed.
Something better happen to fucking Kaji, brother.
I want to see full Michi, him sobbing in a corner, no friends to speak of. Like,
legs broken.
Legs broken.
Oh, wait, never mind. That was Zach. I'm sorry.
Nah, break his legs, too. I think he deserves it.
Even after he got Looney Tuned in this episode.
The bird! Kneecap the bird!
Well, he has pretty thin legs. I don't think it's that hard. Do you remember when he Looney Tuned in this episode?
Oh my god, I'm so shocked I didn't notice that on the first view. Like, yeah, he, like, slams into a wall and turns into, like, paper and Looney Tunes away into the wind. It was really funny.
But, yeah, no. So, do you want to get into what you think about Kaji?
Alright, none of this is super solid, but I have a couple of ideas of when it comes to what the hell is going on with Kaji Brother. So I'm wondering if either A, he is a bestial, or B, like he made a deal with a bestial. Right now, I'm gonna kind of go along with the lines of like he made a deal with one or something.
Which I don't know how that would work.
I have a theory of like when we saw that montage of him constantly going to her like hair salon every single day, and just being like, "Be my girlfriend, go on a date with me, like go on a date with me, be my girlfriend," and her just kind of like no, thank you, and then I'm wondering if that was before, and then the whole incident that happened with Tsubasa at the camp where she got sucked in and then she disappeared. I'm wondering if like that then happened. Like again, maybe he made a deal with the bestial,
and that's when about the time she says yes,
or even maybe like it just happened because he does. I will admit, like I think my theory is already kind of shaken because we see he looks confused. Like, not only in the preview...
But he also denied that she was a bestial, because he's just like, this doesn't make sense, that she's a monster.
Yeah, and also the fact that he just kind of doesn't know what's going on like, with him and Natsumi, so it's like, I'm gonna say, like, maybe he doesn't know this. Maybe he didn't make a deal with it, but I feel like it's like, oh, maybe he tried to pursue her before, maybe she
while she was Natsumi.
Maybe she was too polite to, like, tell him no, and then that happened, and while the crane was, like, trying to hide her or whatever, and then she said yes, and I feel like Kaji Brother is basically a classic nice guy, because again, be my girlfriend, I'm coming to your work every single day, go on a date with me, and then she finally said, yeah, I'll go on a date with you, and then maybe, like, literally, even on the same fucking day, it was just like, let's get married, and she's like, okay, and then they just threw together a wedding and got married, like, later that night or something, and then it just kind of went from there. However...
Remember when I scared you at your old job? At the Abbeys?
Huh?
I don't know why, that weirdly got me to think about, do you remember before we were dating, and you were working at a pizza place, and I walked up, I already said the name of it, but whatever, but,
I mean, it's a chain, so...
Yeah, exactly. Is there an Abby's near you? Say down in the comments below. Whoa! Do you like their overly expensive scabbies?
Yeah, I was gonna say, good old scabby. Do you mean, like, the one where, like, you just, like, you had a break, like...
I had a lunch break at, like, because I worked at a very popular big store chain that I no longer work at now, because they have an hour lunch.
You added me out, so alright, you were working at Walmart.
Fucking Walmart's the worst to work for.
Yeah, anyway, but, like... Yeah.
Sorry to any Walmart employees listening.
I don't think they'll take offense, let's face it.
That's fair, unless you're in management.
Like, yeah, I was sitting behind the restaurant eating breadsticks, and you were just like, hey, what's up? I was like, okay, cool, hi. And then you, like, kept walking. I was like, do you want a breadstick? And you're like, oh, all right.
No, I wasn't even talking about that. I remember when I was just like, you were making a pizza at, like, because they have one of those...
oh, right, when you were looking through the window.
And I was just staring. And I made sure...
You were, like, right at eye level, too. Like,
exactly. It's just like you looked up and I just saw your soul leave your body.
It was funny. But, anyway, random tangent.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It just made me think about that.
But yeah, like, it's like, oh, like, maybe that's why they're the only ones in their wedding pictures. Maybe that's why everything looks so rushed, But, like, oh my god.
Who knows? Who knows?
But again, like, there's also, I wonder, because here's the thing, like, with, like, the relationships kind of going on between all of the characters, I really feel like the Naoto and the Don brothers, because they've shown that they'll do this before, I feel like they'll team up to fight a common enemy of the Bestials, and... maybe they even all become companions, or they all become one big team. But I feel like Kaji Brother would probably go with the Bestials to try and get Miho back, when Miho is Natsumi and doesn't exist. But
I gotta give a kudos to this actor though. He does a good job.
Oh my god, yeah. But yeah, like also I am fully convinced of like the theory that like Kaido is a penguin, because I had a theory of like, what if the Bestials kind of function funny enough, like the movie Get Out, like where it's like they basically put their consciousness into a human's body, and they push their personality and their consciousness into the background.
By the way, I had no idea that this was fully how that movie worked.
Yeah, and then like maybe
never
something
seen it.
That like reminds them of their past life. Reminds them of their past. So with Sonoy, maybe that is like a factor. Or just something that, like, shocks them out of it can bring them back, maybe temporarily, or,
I don't know. We have to see.
Functions, because, like, that would really make a lot of sense with Kaido, because of, like, he has a completely different personality, and also all of his colors have turned into black and white.
Yeah.
But
I don't think we're going to get an answer for Kaido.
Let's take the pin out of the conversation that we were talking about between Miho. Again, because she wasn't Natsumiya, I'm going to call her Miho. But between Miho and Kaji Brother, because...
Yeah.
This was after Tsubasa asked, hey, can I come over for dinner?
And, like, he was already in the slums because he became a monster twice. I'm sorry, you're a monster all the time. Fuck you.
Asshole. But, and he's just like, oh my god, everything is falling apart.
It's all over.
It's all over. And then she's just like, oh, you know, like, she's like, you know, doing her typical wonderful, nice, you know.
Being nice to him.
And then, he's just like, because he, obviously in the moment we thought that he was talking about becoming like a Hiroyutsuki.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Hiroyutsuki.
It's like, but he's just like, oh, would you love me if I was a monster? And she's like, yes, you'd be the cutest little monster. But at the same time, it's just like, it's all over. Would you still love me if I became a monster? In retrospect, with all the bullshit that we just told you?
Fucking suspicious.
Warning, red flag.
Kill him.
I just imagine, like, Genie from Aladdin just, like, just crashing and burning.
But yeah, no, it's, my faith is shaken.
My day is ruined.
Like, this is definitely one of those episodes where you're just like, you get done watching it and you're just like, you want another episode, but then you have to wait a week and then you kind of sit there not knowing what to do with yourself afterwards.
Guys, legitimately, what are your theories right now? What are your thoughts? I need to know.
Yeah, so what are you guys thinking about this episode in the comments?
Obviously,
are you in the Kaji Brothers over party?
Hashtag Kaji Brothers over. Seriously, though, like, I'm not even saying this, like, oh, for engagement and algorithm. Legitimately, like, do you guys have any theories? Because I want to consume them so badly right now. Like, what is going on? I want to know.
But, alright. I think it's time to move on to Geats.
Do you have anything else that you want to say about Dawn Brothers? Like,
wait, was there another pin? Oh, yeah, no, I guess the other pin was, like, my suspicions of Natsumi. Did I explain my, like that she might be... Yeah, I explained that, like, oh, she switched back so she could give the cats Tsubasa. I don't think... No. Yeah, I did.
I mean, you had mentioned, like, oh, the cats being...
Well, no, it's like they've been after... Yeah, I do remember, I was like, oh, what if she switched back to Natsumi to be...
To help the cats out?
To give them the perfect body for them.
Yeah.
So,
but,
because we haven't seen any other cranes. We've only seen the one crane.
Yeah, we haven't even seen the suit yet. We've only really seen... And we haven't even fucking know anything about the penguins. They've only been mentioned.
They've only been shown in origami form.
Oh my god, though. Yeah,
so, yeah.
I think we're going to be learning a lot more about it in the next episode because it's literally called the Origami Song, and a big portion of it was dedicated to, like...
It says Tsubasa gets in a tragedy. I'm not ready.
I'm not okay with it. If anything
and they say the pheasant is a traitor, so they at least admit he is... Fucker.
God. Also, I wonder...
Oh, yeah, wait. I'm realizing... You know what we didn't talk about?
I also wonder if this is how Kaji Brother is going to realize that Inoue Brother is Tsubasa.
Yeah. Also, I'm realizing... We didn't talk about Gold Dawn Oni Taijin. It's pretty cool.
I love the joke of, like, the,
Oh, yeah, they can't see over the massive shoulder pads.
Yeah, the fact that, Saru Brother and Assface can't see. Like...
Yeah. Well, I like how, Saru Brother is insulted. He's like, this is a fresh new insult. Like, he's pissed.
What fresh hell is this? But, yeah, and the fact that there's probably going to be more added on to this, like, it's probably going to be... Like him.
Also, Jiro.
Oh my god, yeah, Jiro has just been like sick in bed like this whole fucking
He
time.
doesn't even understand why. His mascara looks like it's fading like a motherfucker. Oh wait, speaking of makeup.
And he's also, by the way, he's also been
Torvald
this whole freaking time.
Until he switches back after he's looking at his phone at his girlfriend? Question mark.
Something might happen with them in the next episode because they were in the preview. I think she comes and visits him, but like.
Or he goes to visit her.
I doubt that that's going to be a very big factor, judging by the fact that they just dropped this huge bomb, and it looks like they're just going to continue on with it.
But,
tune in next time to hear.
So, yeah, no. So, yeah, that was Jiro. Alright.
God, is there anything else?
I don't got nothing else. We were talking about that for a little bit.
Who cares? It was good stuff.
It was excellent. I like it a lot.
Speaking of balls, let's talk about Geats.
So, should we just get the, like, immediately big spoilers out of the way?
I mean, I guess so.
Well, I guess...
Because a lot of what we have to talk about, I imagine, is, like, theories, if anything.
So. Well, yeah, because the story itself... Actually, you know what? Let's just talk about, like, a little bit what happens in this episode.
Sure.
Because it's the end. But goddamn, does this show weirdly have balls. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we pretty much pick back up exactly where the thing is. Kai was now in a bed that is just in the corner of that one, like, chill out area. So I guess they just have a bed somewhere.
It's behind some curtains.
But yeah, I love that Nyago was practicing how to kick the can. Mm-hmm. She was getting ready and then hit Buffa.
Yeah, she fucking conked him.
Buffa was pissed, and it feels like the butler guy just ignored him because he was just like, "Hey, you might disturb some of the other participants." He's like,
already has.
Exactly. I love that he says she already has, and he doesn't even acknowledge it, and it's just like, whoa, dude, what did Buffa do to you?
She kicked him in the side of the head with the can.
Oh my god.
But anyway.
But yeah, no, and it's super funny. But like his sister goes into the fucking area where the monster is.
She doesn't go into the area. She just happened to be in the area.
Oh, it happened in where she worked. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, because it expanded. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, and then, like, you know, he immediately is just, like, you know, running out in there. By the way, I noticed, like, when they, like, opened the curtains when he was leaving, like, he, like, made the bed.
Yeah.
Before he left.
He's a
good boy. But,
tycoon. Sweet boy.
Sweet boy. But, yeah, and then, like, he's, like, super eager to get into it because...
Well, he's not eager. He's just, like... he's, like, shambling almost like a mummy, and he's like, I gotta go.
Like, dude, you're fucked up.
And everyone's just like, where's he going? Geets puts together what the fuck was going on. He was just like, I know where he's going.
Yeah, and, like... And while that's going on...
The game lady's like, you shouldn't go out.
Yeah, but he does anyway.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like, once he's in the play area, he does save his sister. She's like, what the hell is going on? And her fingers brush up against...
his ID core.
The driver and the ID core, and she gets memories back.
About how their parents die?
Yeah, because we see in a flashback that she was on the outside of a play area. Her parents were on the inside. And you just see them get fucking murdered by... oh my gosh, Jamato.
By the Jamato.
The gelato.
Should we talk about this little part real quick? Because we have a little bit to talk about in this part.
About the thing that you noticed?
Well, no, this is something I questioned. Because we see and we confirm that they're dead. But shouldn't technically after the game they've come back to life?
Because that's something we've also...
Well, yeah, because we saw the Tanuki
shot to life once everything is like all their memories and everything have been reset.
Unless Kai was just bad at taking the pulses of people, and the Tanuki Soba guy was just like very injured and bleeding out, and then he left him.
I mean, but like again, let's just assume that like they haven't lied to us, you know, or like accidentally pulled one on us like that. Why are they still dead? Like, why? You said it. I think you think they might be writers. What if they had been writers?
And they couldn't transform because they had the sister with them because you can't let them know about the Grand Prix.
Yeah, and also, or maybe they just didn't have theirs for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, like they didn't have their drivers on them because they're idiots.
Mm-hmm. Or even like. What if, because I believe this one a lot less, just because, again, like, he could be lying, you know, saying, like, he's so old, you know, but Geets, you know, obviously said the last time that a game was lost because all the riders died was before he came in, and he came in, like, freaking...
81.
In, like, 81.
So that means it was, like, before... Jesus was alive when this game over happened.
He is Jesus. But,
Again, I'm about to say... Well, yeah, you're wrong. He's not Jesus. He's just the fucking lost apostle. God, Yukio Ace, my favorite. He's the one who brought him the raise buckle.
He's Judas.
You don't remember?
Anyway, getting away from that subject, fucking...
Was that sacrilegious?
Kind of. But anyway, like, it's like, oh, what if, like, that was just the game, like, before Geets had come in, like, so they had lost... I also wonder maybe Geets purposefully lost a game and he was lying about the fact that hasn't happened since he started playing because no one would be the wiser or would correct him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the butler or the game lady would do that.
They don't have it a purpose
It just had to be before Buffa, basically, and he could lie as much as he wanted to.
Well, yeah, so it's like, we're unsure.
But that's a big question mark. That's a big what if.
All we know is to confirm they are dead.
The writer one makes much more sense. Again, we'll probably be learning a lot more about this.
Yeah.
But, so, anyway, yeah, she gets her memories back.
She's freaking out. She's having a moment.
Yeah, and then she gets kidnapped and gets
absorbed.
She gets absorbed by the monster.
She's giving the monster some sick 5-hour energy.
Obviously, the can looks like a monster can, so.
Yes. Monster. And we're getting the monster buckle next episode. Coincidence?
I think not.
Actually, probably. Yeah. Because I think the monster buckle is supposed to be the Mon-Star buckle.
Yeah, I was almost kind of disappointed by the look of this buckle because I was.
But the concept has won me over.
Again, I feel like maybe I would have went in with different expectations if I knew it was Mon-Star rather than just Monster. But
well, we'll have to wait to have the buckle in hand, or next week.
That wasn't even this episode. That was in the preview, so that'll be a later discussion. But anyway, now, obviously he's even more fucked up, and then they are going in to fight again, and they're just like, dude, you're really fucked up. You probably shouldn't be fighting. And he's just like, I don't care.
Sister. Well, but he comes up with a plan.
He tries to come up with a plan of just one of us can kick the can. We just need to have someone be bait and
Well, it's like, let's all work together to distract him and then whoever can get the opening kicks the can.
Yeah, and everyone's just like, no.
And everyone in this moment,
including Yago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was kind of shocked. She's like, I gotta do it on my own way. Yeah.
I almost respect the fact that it's they didn't
They didn't do the trio sticking together and Buffa's gonna be no. Ace is just like. We're all in it. It's and he acknowledges he's just like
we're all in it.
Yeah, exactly. Even Geets has one of my favorite screenshots now of all time of, do you realize how entitled you are?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and just even saying we're in a game to win a prize.
Well, that was Buffa who said that one.
Was it? I thought
yes.
But anyway, he's just that's not the point. We need to save these people. We need to save the world. And they're just that's not the point of the game.
It's not. At the end of the day. Yeah. And Geets even says, he's like, you're too nice for your own good. Which, by the way, for a moment, I thought he was going to secretly give him the ninja buckle. No. We will get back to that. Put a pin in that. Mm-hmm. But also probably forget about that pin eventually. Because once you hear how he gets the ninja buckle, just take that pin out and throw it away. So, just deal with that.
Don't step on it, though.
Yeah. Throw it into a very safe container.
The trash can.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, no, so he goes back super fucked up. He still has the boost buckle, but at least he was smart enough to have a strategy how to use it. Well, he used it last episode.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. He takes it out before it over.
Yeah, he takes it out before it shoots off. Which, by the way, later in the episode when it flies away,
it nods.
Yeah, it just pretty much looks like it looks at Ace like, "What's up, man?"
What's up, bro? And then woo! It's really weird. But,
I like it.
So, he basically is just doing the I have to save the world over get my.
He's like, I'm saving. It's not even I have to save the world. He's like, I am saving my sister. He is going to fight the monster and just let anyone else kick the can.
I will be the bait. I do not care.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone realizes that. But also, Geets has also started off in Magnum.
Also knows this, and she's screaming at him the whole time, oh my god, don't die.
And he's trying his best. And he's like, oh, I'm not gonna die here, not until we're done. And then the ninja buckle flies to him.
Yeah, he tries to use it, but rejects it.
Well, doesn't even. He's getting ready to use it, and it's just which I guess this now.
He tries to jam it in, but it rejects.
Yeah, exactly. It's and then flies away and flies out of his hand.
Yeah, and it resonated with him.
Which so I guess it goes. The rider doesn't pick the raise buckle. The raise buckle picks the rider.
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Which I now think it's funny that do you think Zombie chose Buffa just because he knows the emotional connection? He's like, I know your friend.
No, obviously because he's dead inside.
God damn it. That's actually way better than what I said. Me, edit what I said out. I'm not actually going to, but I just wanted to look petty for that 1 second.
Just like auto-tune her voice to sound like me.
I just bring your voice like way low, just... Oh wait, I'm realizing, you know what I didn't bring up in the Decker episode?
What?
The missed opportunity of not calling his upgrade form Double Decker.
Oh my god, yeah. I forgot about that.
Sorry, had to bring that in for 3 seconds. But yeah, no, and he's just going for it. And they even explain why this the ninja buckle would be, because it's like the way of the shinobi. It's like making sure the mission is done even if you sacrifice yourself.
Even if it costs you your life. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like they gave a reason that, and obviously they set up last episode that as a kid he really liked ninjas.
And he wanted to be a cool adult that did stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. And he does ninja shit. He like does a Naruto run, of course.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
He has a cool Spider-Man pose.
Also, there's some very questionable CGI.
Look at that nice suit, though. Look at that nice Christmas red and green.
Yeah, it would Boost look really good.
It does.
I think Boost might look good with a lot of them because red kind of matches a lot with their colors. Like the white and the red, the purple and the red, the green and the red.
Well, here's the thing though. Now, because here's the thing,
the red and the yellow,
which
I guess.
I don't think this holds up anymore because people were theorizing the reason Boost is so good because it's not aligned to any certain buckle. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that's true now. Now that we know that the buckles choose who their compatriot is, I guess I don't know if.
Well, I feel like it's a secondary buckle rather than like a main one.
Well, definitely, it's always the one that goes after. Like if I use,
like it's more of an item rather.
Which
than...
I guess now it makes more sense why when you use it with Ninja, it does give you a little bit of an extra jingles because I think it also because of Kaiwa's luck, he always gets boosted in a way. Which I want to know, does that piss off Ace? I want to know.
I feel like it pisses Buffa off. I feel like Ace is just like, okay, at least I can reliably steal from somebody.
Also, since we already got that out of the way, the cool fight. Can we talk about the can kicking real quick? Because this is one of the fucking funniest parts. They're all running towards it. Mm-hmm. And Buffa's ahead of Geets. And Geets just kicks him in the ass, but also kicks the can.
Kicks the can and Buffa at the same time, and they go in different
directions. They just are gone.
And it's so funny and so goofy. It's like, such a serious moment.
And right before the cactus head could grab it from him,
Yago fucking swoops in.
For the goal kick.
And just fucking busts that bitch out.
Yeah, it's like you can hear the Mexican fucking announcers start going off now, and they're just like, goal, 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 goal. And if you've never watched Mexican football and or soccer, depending on where you are, that's how the announcers are. And if you're saying, you're racist, my dad watched that all the time, and I am of Hispanic descent. I can make this call. I don't give out my last name, mostly because anonymity, you know?
You don't want to give the internet everything.
Well, yeah. I will give you my social security number. It is
1, 2, 3, go fuck yourself.
1142. Eat my ass.
Was that a reference to something?
That's Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken.
You remember when they were going up the escalator with the Emperor?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, it was him going on the elevator. Because, like, the Emperor was trying to get on the elevator. He's like, hold the elevator. And he's just like, what is your number? And then he says that. But yeah, no. And so, yeah, we don't know who won. As a matter of fact, the game didn't end.
Yeah, we're technically, like, still...
But
we haven't seen the results. I think there's still, like, one more game that they need to go to.
But, in the ballsiest move, Kaiwa got eliminated.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't die. Like, and his sister is there.
He gets retired.
Yeah, like, because it's like, you are too injured to continue.
They're like, dude, you're fucked up.
It's one of the rules, apparently, of, like, if you are too injured to continue, then you will be eliminated.
To be fair, I do appreciate that, because it doesn't show the Desire Grand Prix is going to run people into the ground.
You would think they would, though, but... I guess it's more for, like, their benefit, so why would you want them...
Well, yeah, they want as many riders to make it to the final round
as possible.
Yeah.
Though I will say, it is interesting. Actually, I'm realizing, I don't know if there will be another one next episode. Maybe that's the start of the next Grand Prix, because this was the final boss.
Well, yeah, but it's like, whatever the next game is, because I wonder if it's going to be counted as a tie.
But yeah, I feel like a sneaking suspicion. I feel like it's gonna be a tie between Geets and Nyago.
Oh wait, I'm realizing.
Because like here's the thing, like because Buffa and Geets were fighting, and obviously you lose points if you're like fighting other players, so maybe that knocked him down enough. Also, I thought that maybe
I was actually gonna bring it up.
Watching the episode for the first time, I was like, oh, I wonder if Tycoon's actually it's gonna be a 3-way tie because he defeated the final boss.
Nope.
No.
No.
His ass got too whooped.
His ass, he was just like, I can't feel my lungs.
No, also, I have an interesting idea of, like, what if, like, because we've seen, like, at the beginning of every episode, he's been recording these, like, messages.
Yep, okay.
And, yeah, oh, is that what you were going to go into?
No, I was going to bring it up, but it's a good time to bring it up, so say it.
Okay, so... And he's been recording these messages, and we've been like, oh, I wonder if this is,
This is going to bite him in the ass.
But, like, here's the thing that...
Uno reverse, by the way.
That I kind of noticed, like, while, yes, their memories seem to get, like, erased, it seems like it doesn't really change anything physically besides bring some people back to life that were, like, just civilians lost in the game. So it makes me wonder if, like, either A, he's going to just be, like... if he's going to find them and figure out about the Grand Prix that way, or if he's going to touch an ID core because he's the luckiest son of a bitch that ever lived, or even, like, can you be requalified as a writer?
I think he is.
Like, can you, like, go back to being a writer after you get, like, retired or disqualified?
Well, since he's not dead, if he was dead, I'd say there's no chance he's coming back.
You can't come back from that. That's
as far as we're aware. But
unless that's
since he's retired, and I'm 90% sure, because how much of the toy marketing he is. He's the secondary writer.
We've seen, and they've, like, advertised for him in things that we haven't seen him use yet.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's like, I think he's supposed to be in the movie. Safe to say, in the Geets movie. In the Geets Revice movie. I think he's supposed to be in it. So, I think he's gonna be back. Mm-hmm. Probably after he, is no longer dying.
Yeah.
But I guess that would probably be right after...
I wonder if, like, because he didn't die, like, he still has to heal, like, on his own. Like, maybe he has to skip a pre and he'll come back to the next one. It's just, like, in their explanations, like, he just got hit by a car. Like,
actually, maybe that will be their excuse, because, like, the world's gonna reset and he's gonna maybe be healed again. And they'll be like, oh, do you want to be a writer again? And, or maybe he'll remember and, like, go to Neon or Geets and just be like, or Ace, and just be like, hey... I want back in, or it's like, what's this Desire Grand Prix?
Again, like, there's a lot of information about that, and the whole thing with, like, her, like, the sister touching the ID cord and remembering. I briefly wondered if, like, she was going to become a writer
and become Tycoon or something.
And that's how it goes on. But since we've seen it in, like, other promotional items, I imagine it's still him, because I imagine they would at least change the color if it was the sister.
Yeah. I'm about to say, we have never seen a flat out ID cord reused yet.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else you want to mention before I go into a different point?
Just I can't believe they had the balls to kill.
So fucking ballsy.
Again, it's like he's not dead. He's gonna come back, but it's like we're 6 episodes in, and you just showed that like it's just like he was kind
of happy about it. He's like, I kind of want to just go home.
Well, he's like, yeah, saving the world's kind of hard. To be fair, he was backstabbed and very hurt, both physically and mentally.
In so many ways.
He just found out his family got murdered by the monsters. It's a lot to take in at the moment, But,
anything else you want to mention?
No, go into your thing.
Right. So, there was one thing that, like, you kind of pointed out that led me down a train of thought of, like, all of the barbed wire imagery. And, like, as I was kind of...
Oh, yeah, this was while we were watching the intro, by the way.
Like, as I,
we always have revelations while watching the intro.
Yeah. Like, while we're, and while we were watching this, obviously we see Geets tied up with this barbed wire. Like, they keep having, like, the words, like, break out, like, in them. Like, it was mentioned...
Even at the end, he's like...
Yeah, I don't know how relevant it even really is anymore, but we did hear them say that he is trying to break the game in, like, what, the 2nd episode? 3rd episode?
I don't think we ever heard him. It was just a theory we had in episode 2.
It was what the game lady said. She's just like, why do you keep trying to break the game?
Well, no, it's like, why are you trying to bend? I would have to look at the exact wording.
I've been saying the same shit over and over and over again, I imagine. But anyway, I'm wondering, so I have a small running theory, like, of like, we've talked about like the fact of, oh, what if Geats is just basically immortal? Like, as long as you play this game and everything is resetting over and over and over again. I mean, time is still kind of moving forward, but like you kind of still stay young and you don't really age. I also wonder, like, if you are playing the game, even if you win, unless your desire is to leave, I guess, like, what if, like, if you don't die and if you don't get retired, you just keep having to play over and over and over and over again. Because obviously we're probably, unless, something happens to Nyago in the span of, like, the ending of this Grand Prix and in the beginning of the next, like, it's probably going to be at least the three of them, and they're probably going to be coming back, just because that's what they do, It's like, oh, I didn't win, so I'm going to try again. But I wonder, like, oh, do you even have an option? Like, or do you have to come back if you don't get retired or disqualified or if you die?
It's hard
to keep coming back. Is that why he wants to break out? Does he want to try and leave somehow?
It's a lot of questions that we really don't have an answer for.
Or can he not? Or can you only truly leave? Like, that was one of the things I was questioning. Like, oh, can you, like, just leave the game at your own request? Like, hey, I don't care about this anymore. Can I just go? Or it's like, or do you have to, like, have one of those options? I wonder if, like, oh, does that have to be your desire to permanently leave the game? Does it have to be your desire? And because he doesn't desire that, he can't actually leave. Is he stuck in this loop forever?
I don't know, because it also makes it still feel he's still voluntarily here. Because he keeps also saying, he's like, oh, the only reason I keep coming back is to make sure I can make the world what I want it to be. But again, it could be a lie. Hell, there's even a moment in this episode where it's like, where when Kai was getting, like, retired and everything, he's just like, that's the nicest thing that you've said. Is that another lie? And
Yeah.
Ace is just like, just pulled a whole Bill Murray, like maybe. Nobody will ever believe you. It was
Oh my gosh, do you have anything?
No, it was just fucking insane.
By the way, I imagine, before you even ask, like, oh, do you have any favorites? Dawn Brothers wins this week. Dawn Brothers wins. That was fucking insane. That was an absolute roller coaster.
I'm about to say, not to knock any of these other episodes.
These were three incredibly good episodes.
That's a reason this is probably one of the longer, if not one of the longest episodes of the weekly show.
But Dawn Brothers shattered me, so...
Well, yeah, I'm very upset. I have to agree with you.
My god, like,
I did like Geats. Like I said, I liked all three of them a lot.
All three of them were great, but definitely Dawn Brothers, Geats, and then Decker.
I would say, gotta give Decker... Dawn Brothers, Geats, then Decker? What? Meanwhile, it's like, it's so hard to place all of these, because it's like, I also loved Decker with Jin, and the whole fight, it was all awesome.
Here's the thing, like, after Dawn Brothers ended, I was like, God, this is such a good fucking show! Like, as we talked about, it's just so good. So good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so fucking depressed when this ends. Like, I was sad when Zenkaiger ended.
You hesitated on this show. You were like, I don't know.
I didn't buy the plushies, and I regret it to this day. But
like, it's just such a good year so far.
God, so much good shit.
Like,
fucking Toku fans eating their hearts out.
Yeah, but it's like, even in, like, Blu-ray and DVD releases, like, we're now getting Kamen Rider Black. That was cool. We're getting Kamen Rider Black.
Probably because they have the new one.
Yeah, probably because Black Sun. We might have to cover... I think Black Sun might be a movie, so I might save it for the movie-thon. But we also might have it on the regular show.
I mean, to be fair, like, I think we have, like, a decent amount of, like, Showa redos at this point, because I know they did it with Ichigo. They did it with Amazon.
They did Ichigo, Nigo, V3, Amazons, and now Black Sun.
And I feel like, and we've seen at least a decent amount of them, so.
I would say, I think
we talked about at least some of them.
I don't think we've ever talked about the first. I know I have on the movie-thon, but I can't remember if I did it on the video version or if when I was still doing them just on Twitter. I can't remember for the life of me right now, but I want to say no.
We did see the CSM belt of it, though, and that looked really cool.
That was...
It looks like it does, like, one thing, but man, is it cool.
I'm about to say, it's probably $500, mostly because of the mechanics.
It looks like it's
But
like
it looks
solid.
damn awesome.
I don't know if it is, but it looks like it's metal.
It could be.
And like the lights.
And a weathering.
Because it has like, light, like not only like the center light, but there's
like it cinches up.
It that like closes over. Oh.
I'm not gonna show any pictures of this. It's just kind of cool.
Looks so good.
Overall, this was a great week. As you can tell, it broke us in more ways than one, but mostly because Kaji Brother's a fucking piece of shit, and I hope he dies.
Again, like I don't want to go full. Like, oh my gosh, everything about him is terrible. I want to know the full story first.
I know.
Again, I think that he may not be aware of all the things that are going on. I know that, like, I've been the one that's, like, theorizing maybe he had more to do with it than, like, we even think that he does. But there's also a chance that I could be on the opposite end of the spectrum, and he could be just as clueless as everybody else.
Yeah, but we've also...
he could be blindsided. What if he just thought that he found the love of his life and now it's being ripped away from him and it caused him to mentally break? We don't know. We need more context. So...
The only
right now, yes, absolutely. Fuck that guy.
But also, I'm going to also say, we were already very suspicious of the American Psycho thing back in... I don't even remember what episode...
That was pretty early on, honestly.
It was like, what, episode 3 or 4?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it was under episode 10, at the very least.
Yeah, it's like, it was very early on. But, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic year. So yeah, I guess that's it. We have already asked a bunch of questions of you.
Shit,
but
man.
What is your favorite episode?
What'd you think?
Yeah, I'm about to say, because it's a really good choice. And it's like, Decker's really picking up. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, exciting next week all around. Maybe it won't be as long. Maybe it will. We're going to have to see.
It depends.
It probably might be. It honestly might be. Mostly because of what Dawn Brothers might be doing. You have any final thoughts?
Oh, my God.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening or watching, depending on how you really want to look at this.
Or not look at this.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Until whatever we do next.
Thanks so much for listening.
Bye. Bye.